again, I think it happens to me, especially as a man embodying masculinity. I think a lot of feminine energy comes my way for balance. I try to help it, but I don't make it. There's a point where I have to put it down if it doesn't want to be balanced. Like it says it wants to be balanced, but doesn't create balance. It can be male or female. It's not exclusive to woman or man.
Yeah.
It's femininity and masculinity, balance, right? And then sometimes I need more balance, so more masculine presence comes in my life, right? I can think of some great guys I have in my life. So it's just one of those things that I pay attention to, and I was like, why does God help me feel love for a person that almost makes me see past their flaws?
Yeah, I feel like that happens every time for me.
Yeah, see? Yeah. So it's not even, it's like you want it to be special, but it's not really special. It's just something God's having you do so you can help said person, but you gotta be equipped. You're going to war, right? Like, and when you're loving someone in that space, I mean, they got flaws, they got problems, they got issues, and they're gonna pop up if you're doing it right. If you're doing it wrong, it'll be smooth sailing and coast. Yeah, you won't really get, like, it'll just stay the same. There'll be some bumps, but nothing will change. That person will be exactly who they are, right? But they're not coming to be who they are. They're coming to be who they want to be. Whether that be, yes, in a relationship with you, or it be as something as simple as you need to tell them what you see so they can then move on, right? Either way, the selfish part of you wants to stick around, and you want them to stick around so you don't. And again, it's just something I've thought about recently, like something I've been thinking about.
That's tough. Yeah. I think I've been going through a lot of that lately, and you kind of hit the nail on the head where that I'm like, yeah, I've been I've had people come into my life, and I've fallen in love, but it's not even a fall. It's really like I see you, like before you even talk, like I have love for you, for some reason.
Yeah, it's a very interesting concept overall, and I'm starting to realize that a lot of what I thought was unique to me is it's an experience that men have, but because I'm not talking to any men, I'm not feeling the experience from other angles and other lens. I'm not hearing it, I'm not seeing it, so I'm just like, this has gotta be unique, right? And it's not unique. It's actually something we all experience.
I think that's what I love, is like being able, I don't think I've spent enough time in community to really see some of the things that like you learn from community. Like I realized just being with August, I haven't spent enough time seeing a child grow up.
Fair.
And being there every day.
Yeah. It's funny you bring up the August thing, because Amy told me she asked you about like LJ being around and like how he gravitates to you and how you spend time with him. Like you grab him like he's your family, like he's your little brother or your son. You don't really hesitate, right? There's no hesitation. And you become very soft with him, like in a way that doesn't unbalance him. It feels like you're trying to embody what you wanted, right? It feels natural. Like you notice I don't really say anything because I see the care and love you have for my son, but also you standing as a man with him at the same time. Not being soft and sensitive with him, but like literally saying, you're safe. So when Amy asked that question, it made me wonder, right? She was like, I asked him that question, the whole, does seeing LJ grow up make you miss those moments with August?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a miss, but it is. Yeah. Yes, it's a miss, but not in that way. It's more of like I realize my miss.
You got to explain that one.
I'm seeing LJ grow up, and I'm realizing like the things you say to yourself that aren't true, that keep you from doing the things you need to do. So I'm realizing that a big part of the reason I wasn't as involved in my son's life as I should have been, as I feel I should have been, has to do with me feeling like I didn't have the tools. That not only did I not have the tools, but what I was expressing, what I was exuding from me was a bit fucked up.
So you were worried about possibly infecting your son. Let's call it infecting because that's a negative context, right?
And I think I would have felt more okay with that if I felt ready to like be there consistently.
Okay.
But I'm like, yo, I'm like to come in, cause damage, and then not be there.
That's so crazy, right? Like,
worse than not being there.
So that's so crazy, and it's so now this brings up something like bigger, right? And in a good way. It's bringing it all together for me, and I'm trying to piece it together while we're talking because it's not something I thought about. Like it's not normally I got like what I thought about, and then we talk. I haven't thought about this at all.
Right.
So I was either just randomly moving around, but it caught my attention, or someone sent it to me. I can't remember. They sent me the Coach Carter quote. Okay, do you know the Coach Carter quote?
Nah, which one?
Okay, maybe it's the powerful beyond measure quote that the kid says to Coach Carter when he's talking about our deepest fears. Okay, our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate, it's that we're powerful beyond measure. Yeah. Okay, so this stuck out to me for a couple different reasons. But I have, we have community members when we went to coffee this morning where it was just chatting. We talked about going to see this movie. And the movie is The Forge. It's a Christian movie, Christian values, whole thing. Also, we're building out the holistic part of GID a little bit. I think it's the first time I really realized that I'm sitting around talking. Like, I talk, I tell stories, I help. But I think it's the first time I've sat and been like, here's what my vision is, and this is what I'm trying to create. And then watching the conversation, and man, like, I'm gonna be honest, man, I'm so grateful to have you and Amy in my life, so much so. I don't think I realized how much until more recently, when you guys stood in the gap for me, like when I wasn't, the picnic, the cookout, please, let's not say picnic, the cookout, the cookout when you were like, no, these are the principles, this is what he's standing for, this is what he's sharing. And I've always tried to give who I am, right? But I've never really paid attention. Like, I've never stopped and smelled the roses, so to speak. I've never enjoyed the fruits of those labors. Yeah. I've just kind of kept going. Me and John talked about that more recently, using the space. Like, and I watched my mentor struggle with this. Amani struggle with creating a community, but couldn't be a part of it. I feel like I am part of this community. I see this community respond to me, and it's one of those things, right? So as I'm talking about building out the holistic thing, like, it's weird having people hang on your every word, but I feel like when I'm sitting there like realizing this is happening, I'm also realizing it happens all the time. I'm just not owning it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm doing, but I'm not existing as it happens. I'm just kind of like, this is what I do. It's not me, this is what I do. It's not me, this is what I do. Like, I've spent most of my life doing that, and now we're in a space where this is me and what I do.
I think you saying that got you to where you are. And now, in order to like really forward. Enjoy it and move forward to the next level, you gotta like put that down a little bit or change it.
Change it, I think is the word for sure.
Alchemize it.
It's a fucking weird space. And what was funny is okay, for people who don't know, I'm just gonna do this. I got on 2 different shoe colors, right? Fayways. I thought they were called Fayeus, but they're called Fayways, right?
I didn't know.
Interesting. We're gonna deep dive a little bit. You see, we got the incense and shit out because this is like one of those conversations I felt like we needed to, things needed to be a little more holistic, right? So they're called Fayways, right? I wore them this morning. I'm walking through space. Again, I actually didn't even work out this morning, which is normally my thing to help center and ground myself. I just prepared space and waited. And I did some quick meditation stuff this morning, but like I normally do. But I really was like, I just want to be open to receive. And I didn't say or do anything except for exist, show up and exist. And what was funny is, as I'm preparing, the people are coming in. Teresa was first one in the door. That's a whole different conversation. But what was funny was when I was walking through, Carlette said, oh, she said, letting the light lead the darkness, huh? Right. And I was like, it's got to start somewhere. And she was like, Yep. It's the cornerstone of growth. I was like, okay. Right? Walk through it. Forgetting all of the conversations I've had. I mean, life is like a whirlwind. Going to the appointments for my unborn child, talking about options for that stuff. It feels like a lot. At this time, Amy is sending me things about, like, she sent me a whole folder full of like holistic healing, like healing tools that she's gathered over the years.
Yeah.
Right? This is like super important stuff to Amy as she's sharing it with me, which already feels amazing, but also very daunting. And when she's sharing it, she gives me this list, and I just start kind of like typing out how I think the 12 steps facilitate what we do here. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit as we're at coffee. Amy and me are talking about it, and I just noticed that like everyone kind of gathers and listens. Like, I don't think I've really noticed it before. I know it happens, but I don't think I've ever noticed. And maybe it's the gravitas of the people listening, like who they are and how I value them.
And probably it not being in space too makes it feel
fair.
different.
Okay. Yeah. Probably.
Venue's a big
fair.
part of it.
Yeah. So like this is the group of ladies, and they're just listening, and I'm talking about like how it is. And again, there's an objection like, well, you know, when you start throwing Christianity at it, and then Amy literally hops in. No, it's just Dharma. It's not. He's not talking Christianity. That's his personal thing, but that's not what he's talking. He's talking Dharma. And I sent him things, and it follows Buddha principles and all this, which is stuff I've followed half my life. So it's just mad interesting, right? So again, I'm going back to the Coach Carter quote, because this is what makes it like a whole interesting thing. I see this quote this morning, and it immediately makes me start to look up the quote. So there are two, and I gotta like pull it up a little bit. There are two different ways that this quote exists, right? And the way that most people know it is Marianne Williamson, right? They know the Marianne Williamson version. So I read this version, and if you don't know, it's not the version from Coach Carter.
Okay.
It's a version, right? So it says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Still same. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, this is where it changes, who I am to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous. Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God, right? Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people don't feel secure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we shine, let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same.
The prayer.
As we are liberated from our own fear, our present automatically liberates others. Okay. So you're tying it already.
Mm-hmm.
I heard you, yes. Yes to that. And I'm going to read you the version that I heard from Coach Carter that Nelson Mandela quoted, which is the one I know. I didn't know that version. See, that version wasn't presented to me.
Yeah.
I sought that version out. It says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it is in everyone. As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our present automatically liberates others. That's the one I know, right?
As we're liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.
So help me out, right? And this is what I mean, and this ties into our bigger thing. First of all, I have prayed for years to be a light in a world full of darkness so that people could see your light in us. They could seek greater than themselves in the space, in around me, in front of me, near me, whatever, right? You were the first, I think, that really started to like take the lesson and internalize it to a point where we were doing it every single day. And you're now doing it for others. And now here comes your son, right? And the hard part, for at least to me, and I'd love to hear what you have to think about this. The hard part is realizing the missed moments and that they do have an impact. Because now I have to take, and this happened to me too, because I may have been around, but I did the opposite of what you said for Lauren. The hard part for me was realizing that all the damage that I caused became the story she wrote about me. Right? You are on the other side, but similar. Not being around, there's a story there now. I talked to Lauren, I mean, I was there for every step, everything, right? I've been around. And I think I told you about the conversation we had where she literally said out her mouth she thought I hated her. And that was hard for me to hear as a dad. That was hard for me to hear because I have been here every step. So it was hard for me to hear that my one moment standing on principle, talking about my beliefs, became the moment she thought I hated her because of what I spoke on, right? And I spoke on, I kind of don't want to say it, but I'm gonna say it because we live in Bold. I said, my friend was talking to me about being queer.
Yeah.
And he was talking about, like, is it a sin or not a sin? And I said, well, according to the Bible, it is, right? She heard me say that sin has sinners, and then sinners, if you don't repent, go to hell. That's all she heard.
And it turned to hate.
So it became hate. And ironically, if she had stayed for the rest of the conversation, she would have heard the rest I said. I said, right. I told my boy, I said, again, I understand that's the rhetoric, but God told us opposite of that. He said, don't just hate, he said, hate the sin, but love the sinner. He said, even if I don't agree with you, you're supposed to still love that person and treat them authentically. And that is why I've spent most of my life, from the point of realizing that I wanted to be light on this world instead of a darkness, giving that love. And I've shaped and changed that love as God calls me to do. So, having that conversation, I feel like was really healing for both of us. But it was hard. It was not an easy thing to not respond and hear her say that I hate her. I'm telling you, you know a little bit, but I've been there the entire time. The world tells her that men don't care. You know, her mother probably in the beginning when we weren't doing so hot was telling her that I don't care. And she took that message and she said, no, I know my dad cares. And then one moment of weakness, right? And I'm gonna call it weakness because she didn't hear the whole thing. Right? Not because I was wrong, not because, that's not what I'm discussing. I'm not discussing right or wrong. I've said what I said, those are my beliefs. I stand by them. I don't hate people though. So for her to not see her dad in that way hurt. It was hard. But I have loved her in spite of all of that. But now I understand the small resentments. Now I understand the small angers. Years. I'm talking to her about you because I think you've been given a gift, right? I think you have a chance to reverse the curse before it continues with your son. But I ain't gonna lie to you and tell you it's gonna be easy, right? Because that would be wrong. That would be foul. It would be foul to tell you, yeah, no problem. But your authentic walk has created such a beautiful space for you to get that. That is amazing. And I want to make sure we talk about that because I know it's hard. This is a shift, right? I'm asking because I think it's important, and I think that a lot of people struggle with where to put their love. Does that make sense? So I'm saying it to you because I think that's what I had to do. When I was going through my rocks in my hard place, and me and Ashley weren't doing so well because, you know, postpartum depression, other things, all that love I was giving her and her shift made it hard. If it wasn't for my clients and the people I had met before the space was open, I don't know if I'd be sitting here with you today. Man, Matt, shout out to Matt, man. Matt, I love you like family. I really do. Matt sat with me. He checked on me. It's supposed to be his training session, and he's helping me work through the hardest part, probably one of the hardest moments of my life at the time. And he sat with me, he talked with me. I remember when I opened this space and I was like, I don't know if I could do this. And I'm crying, bro. I'm like, I don't know. Like, this is rough. Matt comes in and he hands me the Will Smith book. And we sit and we talk for like 45 minutes. And he says, yo, brick by brick. He said, that's the approach. Devin, I promise you, the people around me helped me be me. But it took so much to be there the way I'm there today. So much giving up, so much dying to self. That's hard. And I see that call coming on your life. I see it coming. I see how hard it is for you right now. I want to acknowledge that, but I also want to ask you at the same time how you're feeling. Before you answer, I just want you to know that I'm supporting you through this. You got to talk about it. You got to give it voice. You are powerful beyond what you understand. You got to give it voice. Being silent will not serve you in your new chapter of manifesting the life you want. Got to give it voice. So I am saying that to you from brother to brother, because you asked for family and you have it now. Fair? You have it in so many ways. Yes? So I'm gonna stop talking and I'm gonna ask the simple question, and I hope you're willing to talk about it. How are you feeling lately with all this change? It's not easy to that. That's like a process. It's like breaking a dam, isn't it? Shit's rough.
But I'm feeling like and called me out on it the other day. I was like, yeah, I realize I'm numb. There's a lot going on.
A lot of change.
Yeah. And I think that's it. It's like, I don't know what feelings are back there. I'm like trying to let them
just walk through, huh?
Yeah. And
Fair.
I don't know. I feel like I don't have many words on it right now.
You know what's crazy? Yeah, that makes sense.
It's like, I'm grateful. You know, I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for Amy. And I'm grateful to have my son. And it feels like, I don't know, man. Like,
it feels like so many things at once.
Yeah, it's like.
Is that fair?
Yesterday, August asked me, "Is like, yeah, you're like, why do you work out so much?" And I said, honestly, like, now that I'm getting older, I think my reason's closer to your reason. It's like, I want to know that I'm capable to serve at like maximum capacity. I don't know what that looks like, but the people around me that I love, I want to know I'm capable to serve at maximum capacity. Like, protect my son if I need to, protect Amy, protect this community, you know, protect myself. And yeah, and then I'm in here this morning, you know, I'm lifting, I'm like pushing.
Yeah, you said today was one of the hardest things you've ever pushed yourself before.
Yeah, I went out, I took a lap, I'm crying out in the parking lot. Sasha's like, yo, good morning. I'm like, I can't even talk.
Yeah, she asked me, I was like, I think he's okay. I think he's working through something right now. Right?
And I'm just like, I don't know, I never really thought about why.
You're a mover. It makes a lot of sense. Like, it makes a lot of sense that it's hard to articulate. Fair? It was hard for me to move. I had the opposite problem.
Yeah.
I could do, but I became more and more stagnant as I did, and it was like it felt like I was killing myself. It felt wrong. It felt like I was literally shrinking a part of me because I didn't realize how important it was. Meeting you and Amy and other people helped me see what I was cutting off. Because see, I didn't even realize that's why I started singing in the first place. I started using my voice, so I had a voice. Because when I was in my old space trying to be respectful and do all these things, I wasn't using my voice, bro. Right? Like I wasn't using it the way I should. That's why me and my dad came to a head the way we did. I literally called my mom and threatened to end his life if I didn't leave, because that's how bad it had gotten. I was taking all of my things and I was just going and physically being violent because of all the things I was experiencing in my heart. You understand what I'm saying? So it's interesting, like you don't realize you don't grow up, right? Like you don't move past the things, right? You learn to manage, but you don't move past the things. And that is what feels so wrong. When y'all told me I was the example for things, that shit scared me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't feel worthy of being the example. Sound familiar? He telling you. He's telling you, you are worthy of being an example. That's why he wants to know. He wants to know what makes you you. Like that's important. That's what our kids are looking for. Our kids aren't looking for you to be the magnanimous, never make a bad choice person. You're already their superhero. You don't even gotta fight to be that. You gotta fight to stay there. That's what you fight for, in my opinion. Lauren already saw me as that person in her life. That's why it hurt so bad when she thought I betrayed her. I lost that via my wording and my being uncareful with my words around my child. But I'll tell you right now, I swear to you, Devin, I wouldn't take back a damn thing. My daughter is an amazing individual. Watching her live life is just warms my heart beyond what I can decide. Sitting with so many people and sharing what God put on my heart and watching how it's affected all of you doesn't feel like too much anymore. But for a long time, it felt like too much. I think we talked about it almost every damn day for a long time, how heavy it all felt. But I feel like the season of getting strong and being consistent and doing all the other things has finally prepared me. Yesterday, it was like, not yesterday, like 2 or 3 days ago, maybe your son being here helped flip the switch in my mind, or going to the kickball game flipped the switch in my mind. I no longer doubted it anymore. I have been standing strong since. And I can't tell you exactly when it happened, but like I'm at the appointments, I'm showing up, I'm here for that. Like anything you ask me to do has happened. Like that's, I haven't missed. And I don't feel good because I haven't missed. I'm not missing because I feel good. You get what I'm saying? I think August is gonna help you be you. You got a place to put that love now, right? Like that place has always been there for a long time. You just didn't know it. You was trying to do something with that love. That's what turned into everything else. And again, you're gonna digest that one. That's gonna take, I know you're thinking about it now, but I'm saying like you're gonna go home, you're gonna realize it, right? And watching you with LJ showed me that you are a good dad. You're worthy of being that kid's father. Every single time I see you with him, Ashley, you notice me and Ashley don't jump in at all. We know you got LJ. You're worthy of being his father, but you're gonna fight for it. Fair? But he gonna see every single step. That's a blessing. Even if things ain't right, he gonna see how you fight for him. He will remember that. It's important. Yes, it's not gonna be easy, but it's important and it's who you are. I've watched you fight for people that they would piss on you tomorrow. This kid loves you. Like truly cares. He's a good kid, man. He's a good damn kid. I bark at him a little bit, but that's because I know he's a good kid. Like most of the time, sit your ass down, don't do nothing, right? If they're not very well to handle himself. His mom raised him very well, right? But I'm sure there's some things going on there, like as far as your relationship with her. Not even the question, not even the problem. You deserve to be his kid, or his father, excuse me. You deserve to be his father. And I'm going to keep saying that as many times you need to hear it. And I support whatever you need. I'm here for it. However I can be here, I'm here for it. And I think you're learning that about this community too, right? Beach date with them. Sarah bringing toys and giving all this stuff for them.
C-Mac.
C-Mac also giving toys and things for him, people asking about your son, people wanting to meet your child. Like, it's so funny how you ask for community and community calls you out into a place where you belong. Not a place you need to be, you belong. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's already there for you. And he sees that, like he came in here and saw what you do. He's so excited to just be near you. And that, for a long time, that was scary for me, right? Oh, you watching everything? Oh, like I can't even make moves and that don't fit who I say I am. I think that's what really started to shape me not deviating anymore. That makes sense to you? I just, sorry, man, I'm my daughter's superhero, man. I want to be there for my wife, but my daughter, my first child, my love, she changed me. Yes. So, and now it's funny because I run a space where I'm helping balance femininity with masculinity at all times. And it's so interesting because there's some dope people in here, man. Again, there's parts of me that are just like, I don't think that's me. And all of a sudden it is me. And then there's another part where I'm like, that's just something I can do. It's not who I am, right? And y'all are watching me, and I don't want to be the example. I don't want to be the example, right? I don't wake up and go, can't wait to inspire the world today. I look at like, I know someone's gonna be watching, and I just want to get it right, right? And then there are days where maybe I feel like that. I think that's important. Yes, you deserve this. You've worked hard to get here. And ain't nothing but more coming, right? Keep going. But make sure you voice how you feel to the people around you so they can be here for you. Yes, even if you don't know, saying you don't know is enough. I have no clue how I feel right now. I just need to do this. That's enough. It doesn't have to be some articulate mess. I think this is a season, as Sarah called it, of fucking up, right? Perfection is a lie. Progress is not, right? Fuck it up. It's okay. I wish somebody told me that as a parent, like first starting off. I wish somebody would have told me that.
Yeah, me too.
Right? Because I would have made different decisions.
Facts.
You get what I'm saying? And I'm hoping that happens for you in a way that it happened for me. I'm looking back at it. Me and Lauren is 20. So I'll be like, yeah, I'm sure you don't remember. Oh no, I remember when you and mom used to fight all the time. I'd be like you don't realize what they absorb, right? So your approach makes sense to being like, I don't want to be the one to do that, but there's a hole there. And what's so funny to me, I'm not haha, but like ironically, is that probably about that time is when you started increasing your capacity for love and started seeking partnership, like heavily. You get what I'm saying? The vessel has always been there. It's crazy. You can increase its capacity, but it's always been there. And if we want to change our surroundings, be the light. That's what we do. We can illuminate the darkness. We can scatter the darkness by being the light. I'm just an example, man. Y'all are following me, and I'm just like, I don't fucking know. Half the time, that's literally, most people think I'm like super confident, don't make no mistakes. And then you talk to me, and it's like, I feel confident in believing in God and his will. And I'm literally trying to stay in tune at all times. Outside of that, I'm not too sure. There's so many skills I've had to develop in the last couple. When Matt came to me with the Brick by Brick book, it changed my approach. He was like, brick by brick, man. That's Will Smith's known for saying that because it's what his father had him do for a brick wall to learn as a child. Brick by brick. The David Goggins book, same thing. Again, it's not going to be some flash in the pants. All that stuff, it was all moments, right? So great men don't pop up. They cultivate. Yeah? So again, whatever you need. And I think you really do see that that's the approach of this community too. You helped build this space, like you deserve this, right? I did the part of opening the building, but you helped me put together the community, 100%. You deserve this. And let me be the first one to tell you that so you don't doubt it. You ain't got to come from nobody else. I need you to hear. You deserve this. including that love from that boy. You deserve it. Yes? Yeah. Take the chance. Fight the battle. Win the war. You can. Okay? I was like, I can't. We wouldn't even go talk about this, but it's so funny to me because I was like, I think my brother needs to hear that I see him as a father. Not that you a baby, you ain't a baby daddy, you're a father. You got the love to do it. I've watched you with LJ. I have seen so many men with kids, and like watching Mr. Brown and watching Garth. Their approaches are so different, but there's no doubt they're fathers. And I'm talking about without the kids, not even seeing the kids, just watching them move. They're fathers. You're a father, bro. You're a father. It's okay. Get it wrong, fuck it up. Ask for help. This community's gonna respond to you. You deserve it. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we just took like all the time. I don't even.
Right on camera for 30 minutes.
But I want to say that not only should we do that, I think it's so much in store for who we want to be and who we are that helps us grow and get past the points. And like even now, watching how my burden's increasing and I'm not feeling it being heavier. Like, where's that strength coming from?
Capacity increasing at the same
time. That's right. We went through a hard ass season. We went through about 2 of them. I think that's why this shirt say what it say. I think this Love Yourself First shirt was my testimony to my need to increase my capacity for this family and at an extended and in-house that I now have to take care of. And you have seen me walk this out more than one time. You know it's possible. Mm-hmm. You're a good man, bro.
I'm right there.
Yeah, you are. That's the hard part is realizing it's like starting over. That's probably the hardest part for me. You're like, it's all again. But it doesn't feel the same anymore. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? I do it again, brick by brick, right? Until I knock that motherfucker down. So, and I've said that to you. I don't even know if I'm a good dad. You're like, you're a great dad. Everyone's telling me I'm a great dad. I don't know when the point comes where I feel like a great dad. Mm-hmm. I don't. I wish I could tell. I wish I could tell you like it's this one right here. I have moments where I feel like a great dad. But like overall, man, I just want to do it all. I want to miss no marks. I want to be perfect for this child, for all of them. It's not possible. Mm-hmm. My mistakes become their story. Fair? So I forgot where I figured that out from. Maybe I was just, bigger source talking through me. But my mistakes became their story. Like Lauren can say, I've been through this. And when she talks about me, I'm blown away when she talks about me. My dad's such a great dad. He loved me. He showed me this. He gave me all of these things. If it wasn't for my father, I wouldn't be who I am today. I fucked up so much, so much. It'd be so much, and I say that to you because I want you to know it's okay to make mistakes, right? So please, we want to see him more, right? You ain't got to worry about him when I'm in space. You ain't got to worry about him at all. I got him, right? Your community has you though. Fair? Okay. You told me, now I'm returning the message and the love. Let us help. Cool. We're going to hug to get off camera because it's time to go. I love you too, man.
Appreciate you.
Of course. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. We're not even going to give it the normal outro. Peace.